Hello and welcome. My name is Eric, and I'll be your host. Tonight we'll be fixing roast leg of lamb. What we'll need for the ingredients that we'll need for this, we'll need about two tablespoons of olive oil, which is currently in the pan. You'll want to heat this in order to brown the meat. We need about a bottle of red wine. And we'll need several sprigs of rosemary, however much you want. It is up to you, as little or as much as you desire. And about a 4-pound roast leg of lamb, but I prefer boneless. You can do bone-in if you like. You want to set the oven to 425 degrees. What you want to do first, while you're waiting for that, is put some sprigs of rosemary in the bottom of the pan. I have already put some down there, so 3 in, as you can see, and you'll want to put at least a 4th in. Once the olive oil is heated up, it's time to brown the meat. You can tell that the oil is ready by and if you see the steam coming up like this, it's ready. I highly recommend having a splatter guard close by, as olive oil tends to pop and splatter when in use for browning. You're going to want to use a bigger spatula than this, or 2 spatulas actually. You'll want to let that sit. You'll want to let it sit and brown for a little while. Check on it every once in a while to make it for desired brownness.
Are we looking for a golden brown, or are we looking for a dark brown?
Golden brown you usually only get with white meat. And with red meat, like beef and lamb, it's usually like brown. As I said, I highly recommend a splatter guard, or you maybe have a mess or a slightly painful experience with popping oil. Once you get it to your desired amount of brownness, you want to very carefully flip it over on the other side. Well, I was slightly mistaken on the golden brown part, but you can see nice and brown. You'll want to try to brown the sides too, if possible. At least that's good. Once you've got the desired brownness on your lamb, you'll want to remove it from the pan, keeping the pan and turn off the heat. You'll want to keep the pan covered with the splatter guard just in case the oil pops a little bit. So remove it to a plate or a platter or whatever you want to put it on, and then bring it over to your pan, or you can bring the pan to you, whichever is easier. And you'll want to very carefully remove the meat from your platter and place it on top of the rosemary that you have previously placed inside the pan. And then you are done with those spatulas.
Why do you recommend this disposable pan versus a regular pan?
I recommend that disposable or regular pans are both excellent for use. I use the disposable pans for quicker and easier cleanup, and because they're usually deeper than the actual pans, it can hold more wine.
We
will get to that in just a moment. Now, for the rest of the rosemary, bring your pan, to avoid dripping, you'll want to bring your pan over here. You'll also want to make sure you thoroughly wash the rosemary beforehand, which has already been done. You want to take a knife. Any knife of your choice, it does not matter. This is good. And you'll want to cut several slits into the meat.
You would usually recommend like what, 3, 4?
3 or 4 on top, yeah, depending on the surface area of your lamb.
And then a couple on each side.
Yes. And then you'll take the remaining sprigs you have, breaking off breaking off as necessary, or folding it in half, and shove that inside the slits you have just cut. You can, if you have room for more, then put in more. If you have any rosemary left, just place it in the pan around the meat. Now, and of course, once again, always wash your hands after touching raw meat. Although with ground meat, it's already partially cooked and maybe slightly safer. But it's best to wash your hands afterwards, all the same. The wine. You'll want, if you can get, if you have a full bottle at hand, that's an entire bottle is my preference. However, you can put as little, you can use as less than that if you want. As I do not have a full bottle currently here, I'll use a nearly full bottle. You'll want to pour this over the lamb, making sure to get some wine inside those slits, and then the rest, and then the rest can go in the pan. That is it for the preparation. Now that since the oven is done preheating, we can go ahead and open that up and put the lamb in the oven. You want to cook your lamb at 425 degrees for 20 minutes. Once the 20 minutes have expired, you want to reduce the temperature to 375. And you'll want to cook that for an additional hour. Once the timer has gone off after cooking for an hour, it's time to turn off the oven. Take the lamb out of the oven now, and that should be nice and cooked, if you can see that. Place it on the stove or wherever, or on some kind of cutting board or whatever. And then you'll want to get the cutting board and remove the lamb from the pan. Place it on the cutting board, and then you want to let it just sit there for another 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes has run its course, it is time to carve the roast. Now, first you'll probably want to remove the rosemary from the slits you cut earlier. So anyway, then it is time to cut the roast. Just cut it like that. Call that pretty much perfectly done, but perfectly medium, I believe, right in the middle there. Now, as far as side dishes go, you can serve whatever you serve any side dish you want with it. Tonight, we're having some black beans, as you can see right here. As for plating, you want to take a plate, obviously, and take a piece of your choice. That's a good size one right there. A nice serving of that in there. Additionally, if you wish, you can use some of the juices from the pan as an odd juice. That seems like enough. And you have a perfect roast leg of lamb. It's like, if you have any other questions for me, feel free to send a message asking them. For my next episode, I am planning on chicken and dumplings. However, if anybody has any requests for something that I would like to see me cook, I will gladly take them. Just send me a message, and I will do what I can. Have a good evening and a wonderful meal.